Yeah, yeah.
Good evening, everyone. How you doing? This is Jermaine with the SportsShops27 with my co-host Kevin Johnson. And today's special guest, we got Charles Hafley Jr., former defensive back with Clemson University. How you doing
Yeah.
today, Charles?
Doing well, doing well, man. Just blessed to be here.
How you doing today,
Good.
Charles? That's good. That's good.
Very well.
That's good, man. It's good to have you with us today, man. Yep, yep. So, how's the weather where you're at today?
Right now it's about looking at the Apple Watch. I say it's about 79 degrees. This beautiful evening night. It's going well
Yeah.
down here in South Florida, Broward County.
Okay. That's good. Good, good. Reason
Short
why I
breeze
asked is
on.
because I know and we want to pray for the people out there in Texas that's right now without power and without electricity in a blizzard. We want to send our prayers out with everyone that's tuning in from that area, and we wish you guys
Yeah.
the best and hope you find the necessities that you need or and all the essentials that you supposed to have in order to get through this difficult time. All right.
For sure.
Well,
Exactly.
Mr. Charles, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where you from?
Well,
Let
I'm
the people
definitely from
that's not familiar with you, where you from? Go ahead.
born and raised here in 954 area code, Pompano Beach, Florida,
That's
Broward
right.
County, South Florida. Everybody know it nationwide, countrywide. We know it as Exit 36. That's where
Yeah.
I'm representing.
Okay. Okay. That's good. That's good. So, what inspired you to play sports coming up from that area?
This area is big when it comes, talking about youth football and football as a whole. Just like other states and other countries, in other states, you have football is basically your tool and your ticket out. And it's like the Bible. You read it,
Yeah.
you play it, you eat it, you sleep it. And that's what it's all about here in South Florida, and that's what we do. And
Yeah.
ever since I was 8 years old. My sisters, I have seven sisters, they cheered youth sports. And, I was always the water boy, never played any flag football, anything like that. While my sisters was out, I said about 8 years old is when I started. I played at my, hometown youth football league that's still in existence right
Hmm.
now, Pompano Beach,
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Pompano Chiefs. Back in the days, we called it the Northwest Chiefs
Okay.
when I played, but
All
we
right.
call it the Pompano
Okay.
Chiefs right now. Orange and green, and one
Okay.
thing about that orange, that's what I bleed.
Cool.
Word. That's good. That's good,
Yeah.
man. So, in that
So,
area, in that time, during that time frame, did you have a lot of like offers from that area? A lot of different schools, and tell us about some of those offers and why you chose Clemson.
One thing what you got to understand right now, I'm currently a head high school football coach here in South Florida, Terravella High School here in Broward County. I've been the head football coach there for 5 years.
wow.
I graduated high school in '97, and when I tell you high school football, not only in the state of Florida but across the country, is totally different than it was back in '97.
Yeah,
When
that's
KJ
true.
was a sophomore, and me
Yeah.
and him played at Clemson together. And
Yeah.
at the end of the day, you didn't have the stars, you didn't have the offers. Back in the days in '97, all you played for was your hometown. Like KJ played for Orangeburg,
Yeah.
Wilmington. The
Hmm.
Bruins. I played
Yep.
for Blanchilla High School Tigers. That's all we bleed. Coming up at 8 years old, 12 years old, that's all we want to do was play for our community high school.
Yeah.
Now, kids used to play for state championships. There is no plan for a state. Kids play for offers now. And we had a little bit of the media. Back in that time. Looking at things as we look back at it. But
Yeah.
one thing I can definitely say is, you know, yeah, I was ranked
Yeah.
in the state, in the region, Southeast
Hmm.
region, and all that type of stuff. But you didn't have the media, you didn't have the Twitter, you didn't have the Instagram and all that type of stuff. The YouTube to get you out there. It was mainly videotapes and all that type of stuff that
Oh
you
yeah.
had to VCR, VHS tapes. That's what you had to rely on, and you had to
Yeah.
rely on
Old
camps.
school.
Yeah, old school camps and everything like that, where you have a 3-day camp that you go to and you show out at. I don't even know if you know this, KJ, but going into my senior year, me and we called ourselves home team. I had a couple guys that I ran with. I was actually on the phone with one of them last night. My best man in my wedding that I'm getting married in March 20th, 2022. Emmanuel Sneed and Brent Swan, Ricky Peterson. We all came up. My summer going into my senior year, we came up to Clemson and we came to a football camp. And that's actually where I really got my name out there at. I ain't go away with no offers or anything like that. That was like in June. I wasn't even recruited with Clemson until like December. What I'm saying? So when it comes to all that recruiting type of thing back in the 90s, it was totally different than now. Like now we come full circle, and now we come to the day and age. You got to start young. I just was reading something on Twitter yesterday where you got 8-year-olds are now being offered and being ranked, and they can barely do algebra, to pass the SAT. So, it's a lot of different things that's going on. But at the end of the day, for me personally, I was mainly, I would say above average recruit. I played quarterback in high school, and I ended up, coming to Clemson as an athlete, a couple of years before Kevin, and I was basically a defensive back where I ended up playing safety, there 4 years. So, it was good, and just going back to that Pompano Chiefs, my high school football coach, after years, 9-year-old, he was my 9-year-old football coach, my youth coach at 9U. All right. And then again, we talking pounds. They didn't have 9U, 10U, and all that type of stuff. We was on the 90 pound. On the 90 pound at 10 years old, I was playing left guard. Then I ended up being a quarterback, at the age of 14, and that's when it just took off from there.
Wow. Man, I didn't know all that.
Okay, that's good, man. Was there any other sport?
Say again?
Did you play any other sports besides football?
Yeah.
Did you play any other sports besides football?
Correct.
Before
Yes,
going
I
to college?
did. One thing I could definitely say, we have back down here, I know when I was at Clemson, the YMCA was big in South Carolina, down here in South Florida, the Boys and Girls Club was very big. It still is. The Boys and Girls Club is very big here in South Florida. I went to Stephanus Boys and Girls Club. I started out playing a little baseball. After one hit, the bat vibrated on me. I never played again. I was just a statistic. I still watch it, whatever. But other than that, then I always was an avid basketball player. A lot of people always thought that I would be NBA, because I was always the tallest kid. At age 10 to 12, 14, I was always the tallest kid around. So you would think that
you had pretty good defense.
6'6". Yeah, exactly. That was my thing. In high school, I actually played. For my high school, again, Edith High School, I played varsity my 9th grade year, captain. One of my mentors and father figures, Wade Edmond. Very, very prominent guy in my life, which is another guy who also helped me in being a teacher that I am today. Because he's a principal as well. So at the end of the day, I played basketball all 4 years. Of my high school career, but at the end of the day, it's all about getting a free education. And that football came calling, and that's what it ended up being.
I'm telling you.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's true.
That's good, man. KJ, what kind of questions you got for Charles, man? I know it's been a while since y'all talked.
Yeah, man. The thing that I wish I had that Charles had was the study of the game. I mean, you can look at the formation and know what they're gonna be running, man. Because I remember a couple of times where he came to me and like, KJ, get there. Or, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, like how do he know all this, man? You know, because I just remember he just even after practice he'd be looking at film or he might take something back to the dorm room. You know what I mean? He just you know what I mean. He was just I mean I just that's what you know that's what that was real big to me. You know that he gave me some kind of drive. You know what I mean? I tried to get to where he was at, to how he started the game, but I had my time was on something else for some reason. you know,
Okay.
but I think because like I told you earlier, I played offense, man. You know what I'm saying? In middle school and high school, so it was hard to adjust from leaving offense and then going on a college level and trying to play defensive back, man. It was it was kind of scary at times, man. But you know, what I mean, I just looking at your teammates, you know, you can't show no fear, man. So, but
Yeah, and I understand where you're going with that because at the end of the day, like you say, you played offense. I played offense coming up.
yeah,
Like I say, my we call it 120 pound. That's around I would say age 14. By around
hmm
12 to 14.
oh
And
yeah,
during that time, that's when I really started playing quarterback. So again, my 90 pound around 9-year old, I was playing left guard. So I got to see what it was like to be an offensive lineman, what it was like to be a defense lineman. Then now we come full circle to 12th grade. Now I done been a quarterback at 12-year-old. Now I'm a quarterback,
yeah,
at a high school, at a powerhouse,
yeah,
where when
true,
I was in high school in 97, we had, the most players, 5 in the NFL at one time. Corey Simon, Tyrone Carter, Al Harris, I'm drawing a blank, Henry Crockett, Zach Crockett. We had 5 guys that I looked up to and that I said, hey, I want to be like those guys. Florida State, 3 of them went
yeah,
to Florida State, 1 went to Minnesota, and 1 actually, for those kids that's out there listening, think that D2 ball is not what it's all about. Al Harris is one of the best, cover corners in the game. He was
mm,
at a Division II school, Texas A&M, Kingsville, if I'm not mistaken, Texas A&M Kingsville, where he ended up, getting a free agent shot, being a All-Pro, and now he's coaching for the Dallas Cowboys. So when you talk about
Wow.
being a D2 guy, it's not all about, the D1 aspect. Yeah, that's great, but also you got to really understand, that what is your calling? What does God have in store for you? So again, like you say, KJ, seeing those plays before they happen, that all
oh yeah,
came from, being in South Florida where you got to really understand that everybody are great athletes. You got all great athletes up and
oh
down the
yeah,
state,
that's
down
true,
here in
yeah,
South Florida. The question is,
that's true,
what are you
yeah,
going to do differently that's going to make you stand out? You know what I'm saying? And
yeah, yeah,
that's what it had to start with. And that's what I learned from those 5 guys, that you had to really understand how to watch film. They always
mm,
said, like, you got to watch film. You got to watch film.
yeah.
That's what it's
It's
all
important.
about. Yeah, very important.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's
Wow.
what's up.
Yeah, it's very important that you watch the film, man. Just like you said, playing different positions in your development stages gave you that IQ along the way to read and recognize certain plays before they developed and know what was going to happen. And you be able to assist your other players and let them know, hey, slide this way a little bit. It's almost like orchestrating, a musical almost. So,
Hey,
Exactly.
hey, I got another question though. So
No
go ahead.
problem.
yeah, what's your let's see, wh- like the most game that you can remember that was your best game? Like, I mean, like, you know,
Um, I would say if you talking high school,
well, I'm talking, I meant to say Clemson, at Clemson, like the best, like one, was it against Florida State? Was it against you know, like,
I think that one of my best games was, I don't know if you remember this game, KJ. It was against North Carolina. I want to say it was at University of North Carolina, and where we was in a tight game. It was, I had about maybe 18 or 20 tackles, and that's unheard of for defensive back.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
if you
true.
got 18 to 20 tackles as a strong safety, that means the front seven ain't doing their job. So at the end
Yes,
of the
true.
day, that what stood out, because that's what people got to understand for all you young guys out there. When you playing football, it's the ultimate team sport. Just like I say, those front seven guys are not doing their job. That strong safety got to be there to clean everything up. And make sure that those teams don't score the touchdowns and make the points that they need.
That's true.
So to answer your question, that would be North Carolina.
All right.
Okay.
Cool.
So I got a question for you. What was it like to play against Peter Ward during that era?
And here's a great answer to that. Now, what you're asking the question of, what was it like playing against Peter Ward, Clemson versus Florida State? However,
Exactly.
I really also understand that my sophomore year in high school, all right, I had an opportunity to see the Peter Ward that a lot of people didn't know about, his junior and senior year. He was at Bradenton Southeast, and I was at Ely High School. And like I say, I'm playing with two of those five guys that's in the NFL at that time. So they were seniors. Peter Ward senior. I'm a sophomore. So I get pulled up from JV to varsity because, again, I didn't play 4 years of football. I played 4 years of basketball. So my first game, it was the second round of playoffs, playing at Bradenton Southeast. When I tell you Peter Ward played running back, just imagine what y'all see at receiver. Peter Ward played running back in an option style offense, and he was electric.
Man.
Not only that, now we fast forward 2 months later, we have to play Peter Ward for the state championship game the same year.
Wow.
So we lost to Peter Ward in basketball and in football in the same year. And I'll tell you about 3 or 4 guys that was on our team for football was also on the basketball team. So we got beat by Peter Ward twice. So now fast forward it, and KJ will tell you, he really didn't do a lot of, when he played against Clemson, he didn't have his best games against Clemson. He was
shut down, man. He got shut down.
Correct. We and I don't know if KJ can remember this because I still got a lot of playbooks. Just so you know, KJ, a lot of those Reggie Herring playbooks. I still got actually stored away.
Wow.
But to make a long story short, we played a combo coverage on him. And that's all we did the whole game. Where we double teamed Peter Ward, so we knew, our head coach Tommy Bowden and our defensive coordinator Reggie Herring, those guys wanted to eliminate the best player. Now all the other guys, winning plays, they make plays. But at the end of the day, so to answer your question, to say all that is Peter Ward was a great athlete. That's one thing that we made sure that Peter Ward wasn't gonna get off. Now, A. Truce Bell and Ron Dugans, all those guys, now they have made some hay. I talked to Ron Dugans. He's now the wide receivers coach. When he recruit South Florida, we have those conversations and talks, about those types of games. So again, Peter Ward was the guy. Peter Ward was the guy. But at the end of the day, we didn't allow Peter Ward to, make highlights on us, as we would say.
Yeah, man. He was a hell of a route runner, man. I never. He will.
Yeah.
I just you just don't know how to play him, man. You just have to just ask God to help you while you're running with him.
That's it.
Yeah.
And hope it
Yeah.
gets
But our defense, they did a good job shutting them down, taking up space, a lot of different things. Coach Herring, for sure, man. He know his stuff, man. He know what to, get you lined up so you can make plays, So
exactly.
Yeah.
So,
Reggie. Go ahead.
I was gonna ask him, so when you was coming up through the Pop Warner high school, middle school, who are some of the coaches that were actually influential that say that you got what it takes, keep going, son, and you just kept hearing that in your head every time you felt like quitting? Like, and tell me a story about that.
Okay. Like I stated before, my 90-pound coach and my head coach on varsity when 90 pound, you talking about 1992, 94, somewhere around there. And then fast forward a couple years later, he was my head football coach at Ely High School. His name is Rocky Gillis. He
Okay.
played for Pompano Beach High School, which is a different high school in the same city. He also went on to play for Iowa State, got injured, came back, back home to be to get involved in this community. His name is Rocky Gillis. Right now, he's our Broward County Athletic Association athletic director for the entire county. So actually, I was just with him on Saturday. Again, like I said before, back in the 90s, everything in Pompano was always about community. That's one thing that we prided ourselves on was community. I live actually around the corner from Coach Gillis. If I wanted to go over to his house, he wanted to come to my parents' house. His family knew my family. So he was always that father figure. My biological father wasn't always there. So again, for those young guys that's out there, we understand that, you want that male figure, look up to your community leaders, your pastors, your coaches, your teachers, and again, it was the guy was Rocky Gillis, and then as I started to play varsity on basketball, Wade Edmonds started to be that um, additional father figure. But again, my main father figure was my mom. My mom was always there. She worked 2 jobs, 3 jobs if she have to. Then later on, my
support
got
system.
involved. He was also a coach as well. And then my uncles was coaches, so I had a lot of men in my life that was very positive. And that's what it's all about. Surrounding yourself with positive role models, positive people. And again, Rocky Gillis was that guy. And I can call him, and ask anything that I need to, be asked. One of my bosses, who's an assistant coach, was on that staff as well. His name, Carl Weaver. He was also a very intricate part of my life, and making sure that I stay on the straight and narrow because, again, we see South Florida, and we all know, 97, it was very drug infested, a lot of violence, very similar. We had no first grade type stuff, but it was a lot of violence and things of that nature. So you had to stay on the straight and narrow. That's what the Boys and Girls Club, the Pompano Chiefs were. It was an outlet, for us to go out and do things in a positive light. And we had those people that was very significant to us, that is still in our lives today.
Oh yeah,
that's good. That's good to know. That's good to know because I think everybody has that one coach that just impact them so much, and just even if you did have a father figure, it's just a lot of inspirational coaches that you never forget and just say things that stick to you for a long time. So
And
that's
Jay,
good to hear.
it's a funny thing too because the same guy, as years go by, like I say, he was 90-pound coach. He was my 90-pound coach. He was my varsity head football coach. When he was a teacher, and eventually now I'm a teacher, and he's half of that reason. Football coach, and when I tell you, he was actually getting elevated to be the athletic director for the entire county. So now you're talking about over 33 schools that he's organizing. So make a long story short, before he left in 2004, I remember it like it was yesterday. He called me and said, "Hey, I'm moving up. Do you want to come and start coaching? After I finish college." And when he called, I got to listen. You know what I'm saying? So I listened.
Yeah.
And the rest is history. He helped me throughout. He's always there for me.
Cool. So have you ran into any of your former teammates out in the real world, just accidentally? You keep in contact with a lot of your college teammates, high school teammates, pro teammates. Tell me what life is like after sports and how close you guys are and things of that nature.
Well, definitely, I keep in contact with a lot of guys, because you never know. One thing I live by for everybody out there, you never burn a bridge. Always
Yeah.
keep your people close to you. Because you never know you're gonna have to cross that bridge ever again.
Yeah.
Like I say, I got my home team. Whenever those guys who I ran with in high school, middle school, like I say, I was just best man at my childhood friend's wedding. So and then fast forward, a lot of guys who I played against, right now we're in a big group. We call ourselves C3 Do 3. And we keep ourselves not only the mental health aspect, but the physical health. We try to get out and get a good little exercise. They got me doing 6 miles on a bike. And we keep up with them. On the other side of that, with the college guys, like you asked, we have some guys like my college roommate before KJ got there was Dexter Polite. He's now in Georgia. He was a play corner. I know Dexter very well. I done been up to Moultrie. He done came
trying to get him on the show.
He'll stay at my place. So he done did that before. Derek Brantley. When KJ was there, Derek Brantley, who's from Mullen, South Carolina, he's actually him and one of his best friends, Sean. They always come down. For a birthday or. If Clemson coming in town, they come down.
Oh yeah.
And we normally kick it. Matt Bailey, one of the most hilarious guys you will ever meet. That's my guy. Every time he comes down to South Florida, he always called me at the last minute. But whenever he calls, he always know I'm ready for him. Whatever he needs, I'm making sure that he's taken care of. I go see him at his hotel or whatnot. We'll kick it and hang out, and like I say, all those guys know my fiance, Dana, and we just have a ball. It was great. I touched base with Kevin a couple months ago, and since then, we rekindled. Nothing was never tarnished, anything like that. But I just you had to make sure I'm straight. I had to make sure he was straight. And I talked to a couple guys. Also like Jackie Robinson, he called me about maybe 2 or 3 years ago. He wanted to come down. He normally come down with his job. He normally does that. And when he came down one time. He got me on the ocean. Now I'm from here. He got me on the ocean out there fishing, and 300,000 feet down. We catch the sharks and everything. So whenever those guys come down. I hit them, they hit me up, and the same thing, when I come up to South Carolina, which I'm coming up to the spring game in a couple months. Matter of fact,
come on up, brother.
Yeah, I normally, hit those guys up, let them know what's going on, and touch bases with them. So, yeah, I keep in touch with all those guys, man. You have to. You just have to.
Yeah,
that's good, man. That's good. Go ahead, KJ. You got something for him?
Nah. That was what he said was perfect, man.
No, I was asking, you got another question for him?
Go ahead.
What's that again?
I was just asking if you had a question for him.
Yeah. I don't have any more questions, man. I don't have any more.
Or you got any stories you want to share? What about Charles? Any funny stories?
I guess we can talk about I think it's around by this time, what is it? Well, you got to get up about 5:30 in the morning.
I already knew you was gonna come with that. I already knew it.
Oh my God, man! What I forget what's the name of it. It's been so long, man. Matt Drills. Oh my God, man! It's hard to sleep at night knowing that you got that the next morning, man. Yeah. So I that's when I remember me and Chuck, just trying to get through that, man. It's very painful. It's about like 8 stations or something like that. You got stairs you have to run. I mean, and the coaches is all in your face early in the morning, cussing you out, saying all kinds of things, man. And you can't do nothing back to them. but but we got through it, man. Chuck, he didn't say much, man. He was like, he be the hardest one going, man. He just be like, so I was like, if I just keep up with Chuck, man, I can make it,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sometimes I got to
that's
put
good.
you in front of me because
Yeah.
I
I
didn't want to
mean,
make it sometimes.
I mean, all the way down to tour days too, man. You know what I'm saying? We be laying out on IVs, man, trying to get to go to the next practice. You know, I mean, it'd be hot, man, and it's so easy just to quit and just walk off the field if you wanted to, man.
Exactly.
But
See,
it's
I'm
just
brought that up, KJ, because people don't understand. When like I don't know if you guys ever heard of March 100. My fiance is she was a part of, she alumni of the March 100, and we always talk about pre-drill and we talk about MAC drills, and it's correlation to everything in the same, and like you say, KJ, you got that person in your face, yelling out and you can't do anything about it. I instill that same mentality into my players, because at the end of the day, like I tell them, if you can't take instruction from me, you definitely can't take instruction from your boss, once you get on that job.
No.
So
Good example.
At the end of the day, that's what it's all about. It's about, showing how mentally tough you are for 21 minutes, where you got 7 stations for 3 minutes each. Non-stop, no water, and that's what it's all about, and you're talking 5 o'clock in the morning.
That's it. And you better have some, you better have some gum in your mouth or something.
Exactly.
Something to chew on, man.
Exactly. And if you don't, at the end of the day, if you at that point, if you touch a bag or you touch a rope, you got to do extra running after.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh
yeah. Ooh.
You still got to do extra work, until you get it right.
And you better not be late to class either. You better not be late.
Exactly. You got 8 o'clock class, and you just that 10:15.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So it's good.
Yeah. Shout out to Daniel D. Doing. Shout out to Daniel D. Doing. He said Matt drills. That's what it was. I don't know if you guys were teammates or not, but he just chimed in on the live just now. Shout out. Yep.
Yeah, that's one of my former assistant coaches. Who one thing that I try to do is, he's a product of, if I'm not mistaken, I'm gonna just say North Miami. I know he's gonna correct me, but I'm gonna say North Miami. Great guy. Like I say, you got to associate yourself with great guys. He phenomenal family, wife, 2 kids. He was one of my former assistants. We had some conversation, and him and his wife ended up moving recently up to Georgia, Atlanta area, where he's now he's the coach up there. And we great guys. His wife is actually from. I know he's gonna correct me on this one. It's right off of 20. It's not too far from UKJ, over there, close by Orangeburg. That's where his wife is from. But I know the school, but I'm having to draw on a blank. But
you saying like Columbia, South Carolina, or something?
No, not Columbia. It's a purple school. It's a purple school right on 20. Big time school, Darlington.
Oh yeah. That's what Brandon Rouse. Then he go there, right?
Yeah.
Rest in peace, man.
Yeah, he
said,
dear Don. He actually played at Boston Southern. Great guy, phenomenal guy. Darlington is where his wife is from. He actually coached over there at Darlington before he came back down. But again, that's what I'm saying. Good Christian guys, associate yourself. Put yourself around great guys. And you'll see, the fruits of your labor start, coming and flourishing about.
Cool. So I want to do this thing. This is going to be new. You're probably the first guest, right? I'm going to name a state, and you're going to tell me which position they produce more in NFL or college. Whether it be linebacker, safety, DB, quarterback, receiver. You just give me which position come out more from that state. Okay.
I'm gonna take about 3 or 4 seconds just to think about it before I say my answer.
Okay. All right. Florida.
Cornerbacks.
Okay. Oklahoma.
Running backs.
I'm gonna go with offensive lineman.
That's not a bad choice.
Oh yeah. They 300 plus out there.
Yeah.
Georgia.
Linebackers.
Oh.
You say running back?
Nah, that's right. Linebackers.
I'm with you, KJ. But here's the thing: if you look at a lot of those guys, you might be thinking University of Georgia. See, I'm thinking the state because
that's true.
You know, a lot of those guys that come from Georgia, University of Georgia, they not from the state of Georgia.
That's true.
You know, that's just what I'm thinking. It might be true, it might not be true, but that's what I'm just thinking.
Okay.
So I'm gonna say linebacker.
Okay. South Carolina.
D tackles, D linemen, and mainly D tackles. They have the best.
Gaines Adams.
You got Clowney. You got a whole list. The whole Shaq and all. You got a whole list.
Yeah.
Of D linemen.
Gaines Adams.
Coming out of there.
California.
Quarterbacks. They eat, sleep, breathe.
7-on-7.
They got 7-on-7. You know, that's where 7-on-7 actually originated from in California.
Oh, I didn't know that.
If you really go back and you look at a lot of those quarterbacks, you know, that's why Clemson went and got them one from what? California. You know, because that's what they eat, sleep, and breathe. 7-on-7 out there. That's where it started at.
That's it.
All right, Michigan.
You say Michigan?
State of Michigan.
It's a close one on this.
Tight ends or something?
Yeah, I was gonna say tight ends. I was gonna say running backs at first, but I'm gonna go with tight ends.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go tight ends.
Okay. Yeah. Alabama.
Ooh.
Receivers.
Yeah.
As crazy as it may sound.
Jerry Rice.
Exactly. As crazy as it may sound, they got a lot of sneaky receivers that come out of that area.
Yeah.
Mississippi, I'm gonna say safety, but they're close with running backs because it ain't too much over there.
Yeah, that's true.
North Carolina.
Ooh, that's hard.
I'm gonna just say defensive players with them because they don't have too many offensive guys.
They don't.
They're not.
That's a basketball school.
Huh?
I said that's a basketball school to me.
Yeah. They're not the traditional football. You know, they have pockets. You know, they have little pockets. You know, you go to Charlotte, you go to Greensboro. You know, you may go. You got little pockets that you could, but
that's true.
You know, they
got a little mixture. They got a little mixture of everything, just about.
Yeah, you know, like you go into South Carolina, you go into Charleston, and you got a whole area over there. You go into South Point or whatnot, you got a little area. Greenville, you know, but North Carolina ain't like that.
All right.
Yeah.
How about Texas? The last one, I'm gonna say Texas.
Oh, he's straight running back.
Straight running back.
They got too many to come out of there. That's why I'm going to get a running back from. But I'm with you, KJ, with Georgia. Georgia got some good running backs too, but you know, you talking big running backs. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, man. It was a big one there when we played them. I came. We played them in. Georgia. You was talking about Georgia, right?
Yeah.
University of Georgia.
Yeah.
I don't know if you went there in 02, right?
No, that was me.
Okay. Yeah, that's when we played them. Yeah, they had a nice size running back then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember his name.
Musa Smith.
Yeah.
Probably Musa Smith.
Yeah, I think Musa Smith. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
man. They, I
Well,
mean, they had a
anyway,
whole. They was pretty good.
yeah,
There.
yeah, they were good back then. I think they had David Green at quarterback then, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken.
Yeah, David Green.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, man. Well,
they had a
Charles,
backup too. We had a backup.
DJ Shockey.
Okay.
Yeah, yep, DJ.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yep. Well, so, Charles, man, it was nice talking to you, man. You had a lot of good things to say, a lot of good points, a lot of
Yeah.
things that you experienced in life. Where can the people follow you on all your platforms and social media links?
Facebook, you can follow me, Charles Hafley. Just flat out. I don't got nothing too much to hide. On Instagram and
Yeah.
Twitter, CJH for the number 4, and then Life, LIFE. One thing I appreciate you, Jay. You talked about the people from Dallas. Actually, I have a cousin. A very very close cousin of mine. She's actually in Dallas, and I was actually talking to her on Sunday, right before it happened. And we had a little family meeting that we was having. She couldn't even be on because she didn't have no power or no cell service. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate you starting that out with that. And KJ, man, I appreciate you, having me on, so we can chop it up, and I be on, I'll be checking out y'all boys. What y'all do every month, every,
Eh,
first.
We do whenever we can get someone on, man. Every week, you can check us out. We'll post. You already follow us on Facebook, so when we post our next guest, just log in and stay tuned, and then we'll be reaching out to you soon and have you back on. You just let us know, man. We'll love to have you again.
Oh,
Hey, I
most definitely.
appreciate that. And for all those that's out there, the young guys, that's going on to college or, that's in high school, one thing I just want to leave them with, the high schoolers, just to be uncommon. Don't do what the other students are doing. Don't be out there skipping, smoking, and all that type of stuff. Be uncommon. Do your own thing. Be a leader, not a follower. For those kids that's going off to college,
Tell your mama come
next
here.
year, the year after, they gotta understand, man. If you're going to play ball, use football as a stepping stone. Somebody always told me, once they take that football away from you, what you gonna have? And that's what it's all about. One thing, and Kevin, to tell you, when I first got to Clemson, man, they said I wasn't gonna graduate. Because I'm from the poverty, I'm from Pompano, I wasn't gonna graduate. And I remember who told me that, and every time I see him, I always let him know that. And because that's what the number said. But at the end of the day, you got to use, that football thing as a stepping stone so you can graduate, and if you make it to the league, cool, fine. But if not, you always got that piece of paper. They can always take football away from you, but they can't never take that paper away from you. You know what I'm saying? And that's all
Right.
I want to let everybody know.
And then
All right, man. I appreciate it, man. You want to add anything else, KJ? you want to add anything else? Okay.
I can't hear you.
Okay, I was just saying if you wanted to add anything else before we log off.
Yeah. Well, I mean, man, I'm just so glad that you was able to come on, man.
For sure.
Yeah, it's messing up, man. My phone messing up over here.
No
Okay,
problem.
man, that's all good.
But I just,
Hey, but
for you, KJ, man, I do, y'all my boys, man. I appreciate you, Jay. Nice meeting you. Thank you, KJ, for having me on, man. Appreciate you.
I can't hear
all right,
nothing,
man.
man.
Well, we're gonna go sign out. Hey, y'all stay tuned to the next show. We'll be on here. Thanks, Mr. Charles Hafley Jr. You guys have a good night, and we'll see you soon. Wear a mask and y'all be safe.
Yes, sir. Be blessed, brother.
You too. Bye-bye.